Hello friends, welcome to Science with me. My name is Dr. Erica. I am so excited that you are joining us, and we are doing Minecraft right now. We've had a lot of fun doing some online programming, and I thought it'd be great to wrap it up with a few fun Minecraft sort of inspired paper circuits. So if you want to do this with us, you can get all of the printouts over at patreon.com/rosieresearch. Make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't want to miss some really fun science coming up in the future, and you can always check us out on Facebook. So the first thing you will need for this project is the Minecraft creeper cutout. You have printed on both sides. If you flip it on the long edge, it should match up so that you can get your circuit on the inside so it's a little bit hidden. This is also an art project. You'll notice I only have sort of the green creeper look to it so that you can add your own creeper face and any sort of fun extra weapons or looks or cool things you want to add to your creeper. So you can do a whole lot of art with this as well. So you want that printout. And then all of our paper circuits, you need a CR2032 battery. You can find these at your grocery store. You can find them on Amazon. I buy them by the hundreds because once you get it hooked on paper circuits, they're amazing. You need some copper tape. This is just some thin 1/4-inch copper tape. Pretty easy to find online. You need LEDs of your choice. I have some specific colors if we wanted to choose a color. I also have some sort of flashing rainbow ones. Sometimes with paper circuits, you need a hole puncher. Definitely going to need your pair of scissors. And then I like to also have a non-conductive tape, so a scotch tape or a masking tape to tape in the parts that we need that are not circuit parts. It's really, really helpful so that if you tape in your LEDs with copper tape, I find it doesn't work as well. All right, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're just going to cut out around it, which I have already done. So take a moment, you can pause the video, you can cut around it, and then when you come back, you will have something that looks like this. And the first thing we'll do is we will crease our paper circuit. So on these dotted lines, we're just gonna crease it. That just really helps it as we lay down our copper tape. It makes it so that later if we try to crease it, it doesn't do something funny with the copper tape. Copper tape can kind of be sensitive, so sometimes it'll break as you fold it. And this way, the creases are already there. It makes it just a little bit more robust and more likely to survive, which is what we want. There's nothing more frustrating than making your paper circuit work and then touching it and it doesn't work anymore. So I like to crease them all beforehand so that there's no surprises. Sort of all gonna go together. And then you can also see how this is gonna go together. We're gonna have this sort of tall, creepy creeper, and it's gonna be pretty great. And now this part right here, you'll notice this is actually going to be our switch. When it's folded over, it will be on like that. That will turn our thing on, and then when it's off, it'll be like this. So that's gonna be kind of a fun thing. All right, so the next step, you can sort of flatten it out a little bit on your table, and we are gonna start laying down the copper tape. So I'm gonna lay it down on these two lines right here. There's one that's the long leg and one that's the short leg. The long leg will end up going to the top of our battery and the short leg will not. Now when you start a paper circuit, you always gotta get this copper tape started. So you gotta peel it off with your fingernail and you gotta really just get that little piece off. And something that we're gonna learn really quickly with copper tape is that you don't wanna pull it all the way off. You don't wanna like peel off your long piece because it's gonna curl up, and that curl is gonna be really difficult to deal with. So instead of doing that, you wanna leave the backing of your copper tape on. All right, so just get it started. I'll get mine started again. And once you get it started, you're just gonna leave the backing on and we'll stick it to the paper as we go. All right, and so I'm gonna just stick this down here, right on top of that short leg line. And then when I get to this turn, we're not gonna cut it. We are actually going to fold it. All right, so what I like to do to fold my copper tape, one way is to just fold it straight the opposite direction. So instead of folding it down like I wanted to go, I folded it up, and then you can fold it back down right over your finger. And you press down there and you have this beautiful little fold. The reason why we fold it instead of cutting it is that if you cut it, you'll get these two layers of copper tape with glue between it, and our little electrons that are trying to go from the battery through our LED to light it up won't be able to get through that glue. Now I want to show you another way that you can try to fold it too, and that's where we don't actually fold it. You sort of just give yourself this extra And then you just sort of press it down right there. And now I have all this extra gunk here, and that's okay. I can just press it down like that. All right, it's gonna go into your green circle, not back out of it. So make sure you go into it. You want it to go nice and well into it, but then not out of the green circle. So we have one of these. I'm gonna actually fold this down just to make sure that my long leg won't touch this one, because our legs, they can't touch each other. All right, so now we're gonna do our long leg. So same idea, we'll start here. We're gonna tape that down just like that. And then we will fold it so it comes back down just like this. And this is a nice one because it's fairly straight. You'll get a chance to practice some turns on this. But it's nothing, there's not a ton of turns. Some of our projects we've done, I think one of our Star Wars projects at Paper Circuits, that was one of the hardest paper circuits we've done. There's a lot of folds and tricks to it. All right, so now I've got this guy going down, and I'm just following those lines that are on that template. Then I like to take my thumbnail and I just sort of press it all down, make sure it's nice and happy in there, just like that. Now you have a choice to make. If you want your creeper to light up from the inside, you're just gonna keep on going, you're gonna do nothing. If you want it to have a light on the top of its head, you can punch a hole where this pink is right here, and you can put your LED through that. Sort of depends what you would like. The next thing you need to choose is what color you would like. Now, the obvious color would be green, but green LEDs are a little bit tricky. So green LEDs, they always kind of show up like, this one's okay, it's kind of green, but they're not super bright. It just depends what you would like. I personally am a huge fan of rainbow. I do everything in rainbow. So I'm gonna do a rainbow LED. Now you always want to check if your LED is working. So you'll have your battery and your LED, and you're going to put the long leg on the top of the battery and the short leg on the bottom. So your LED is sort of straddling that battery with the long leg on the top. The top is where you can see that plus sign or the writing on it. And you want to make sure your LED lights up. Now, if it doesn't light up, you can try flipping it, because maybe you just accidentally put your legs on the wrong side. LEDs are one-way streets. They go down a slide into a hole. They will just stare at the bottom of the slide. So here it won't light up. So you can always try flipping it, and just make sure you don't have like sort of two legs on the top or two legs on the bottom. This tells me that my battery is working and my LED is working. So I am good to go. So now I can tape my battery in, and I can also tape my LED in. I'm going to do that with my Scotch tape, just like this. And when we tape our battery in, we don't want to tape straight over the top of the battery. I need this metal over here from the copper tape to touch the top of my battery. So what I sometimes like to do is I just cut this guy in half, and you just put like a little strip. You don't need a whole lot to hold this battery in. Just something like that will work great. All right, and now I want to do my LED. Making sure that my short leg goes on this bottom line and my long leg goes on the top line. Otherwise it won't work out for me. I like to make my LEDs do the splits, just like a gymnast. And then I can fold the long leg and the short leg, sort of to make like an S with this guy in the middle. And then they will go right on top of that copper tape that we just laid down. You want to make sure it like hits for a lot of it, that you can get good contact. Now I'm going to just tape these legs down. I'm also going to tape it with my Scotch tape. All right, so I can use this piece here, just like that. And just press really, really hard. If you find out it doesn't work for you, you can always lift up the Scotch tape and put a little piece of tin foil right between the tape and the leg, and that usually fixes those problems right away. I'm also going to tape in the short leg so I get really good contact. And now we can test our circuit. Before we close it up, let's test it and make sure this is my switch. When this hits the top, I should have my battery, my little electrons will go through it, and it lights up for me, which is awesome. So that's going to be my switch, and I can tape this all together. All right, I'm going to leave the bottom open for now, and I will tape these pieces, the top parts, together. I can just take this guy, a little piece of tape, I'll put it like here, just like that. And then it will come in, I'll fold fold over this tape. Like that. Which will make that part. This little guy can go in just like that. It kind of stuffs in nice and happily. And then I can put my tape sort of on the outside edges of that. And if you want, if you're worried about having to open it back up to fix your circuit, you could just tape it in one spot. That'll work too. There we go. Put that down in there. So you can tape it in one spot, you can tape it in more spots, it's up to you. And then here is when I want this to be on, you can see it light up inside. I can close this, you can put a paper clip on there. You could put, I've got some magnets that we could put on in here. Paper clips and magnets are the kind of the easy ways for keeping it on. Binder clips are great for that. I have all of my little LEDs are happily attaching to my magnets. All right, so we can put it on like this. I like to put one on top and one on bottom just to get a good connection. And then I can stuff this little piece in and it will hang out and it'll be on its own. Oop, I think I need to fold this a little bit better. Yes, let's see. I don't think I pre-creased that one. Let's fold it backwards. Then we'll fold it forwards. There we go. Just like that. All right, so now I've got this little creeper. You can add a face to it if you'd like to add a face to it. You can sort of tidy up some of these things. You can add awesome weapons or whatever. And again, if you wanted to, you could poke that hole. You could have your LED on the top so that just like the top part of your creeper lights up. I kind of like lighting up the inside because it'll look really cool in the dark. If you go into your hallway, you can set up a creeper to like scare somebody in the middle of the night. It'll be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this, and I would love to see the creations that you make of your creepers since they will all be different. I can't wait. It's going to be a really fun art and science project for you guys to do. And then check back with us as we make an awesome diamond box, and we'll also be making a Minecraft torch. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we will see you soon. Bye, friends.